Okay, so there's a lot of hype around Marathon and Bungie due to the alpha dropping this week, which, by the way, I still don't have an invite to. But there is another extraction shooter that's coming out, and it's called Arc Raiders, and it's made by Embark Studios. Now, Embark Studios, you may or may not know, made the Finals, which is one of the best FPSs out right now. I have all the respect for Embark Studios for pouring all the love and hard work into the Finals. It's one of my favorite games to play right now. But what about Arc Raiders, this new third-person PvPvE extraction shooter? Before we get into next week's playtest, let's go down a little X journey. I want to show you guys what Arc Raiders started as, where it's at now, and where we're heading. Okay, so we're on Arc Raiders Twitter, and I want to show you there has been 21 posts since this game was announced, and it was announced back in 2021. One thing that kills me about Embark is that they just don't advertise a lot. You know, the Finals has been out for a few years now, and I just never see posts about it. Arc Raiders has been a little bit different. It's been under NDA for all the playtests so far. Now, next week is different. We'll get into that. So that makes sense, and they also switched gears on what direction they wanted to go with the genre of Arc Raiders, and again, we'll get into that here in a minute. So this was their first Twitter post, and this was back in December 6th of 2021. So 4 years ago, they announced Arc Raiders, and it was basically sold to us as a PvE co-op shooter, like Helldivers 2. Then just 3 days later, they had the full trailer reveal, and they announced that it was coming in 2022, so just the next year. Then you scroll up just a few posts, and then there's an update from the team that, hey, it got pushed back from 2022 to 2023. No big deal, that happens in game development. This was when the direction of the game really started to turn into a PvPvE extraction shooter. All right, so that post was on August 8th of 2022. Then just a few months later, in May of 23, they posted an update on medium.com. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but basically they talk about they made the decision to move the release of Arc Raiders in order to focus on the Finals. And then they mentioned that at that time, they also said that they were giving the Arc Raiders team time to add PvP to the existing foundation of the game. So everything started to shift here in early 2023, late 2022. And then essentially they had a couple of tests that were under NDA. They had a closed alpha. They had another tech test that was last year in October, I believe. Yeah, so here's the October announcement, October 24th to the 27th. And then the only other thing that we got since then was some gameplay. Looks like, what, a 6-minute video that they put out in November. And then shortly after that test, they put out a video that showcased some gameplay. It was just a couple weeks later in November, actually. And we had not heard anything since until April 15th, where they announced the second tech test. So Embark was really busy with, you know, making decisions on what genre they were going to chase, and you know, they released the Finals in the middle of all this. So very busy. Not a lot of posts from them, which is understandable because they're still building this game. A lot of stuff was under NDA. But hey, the Finals has been out for a couple years now. It's been fantastic. I love it even still to this day, 2 years after release. With how successful the Finals has been for Embark, I feel like they can really make a statement in the extraction space. If you haven't signed up for the tech test, you can hit this link, go to arcraiders.com, sign up for the tech test there. You'll take a quick survey. It takes no time. So over on their Discord, where they actually made the announcement about the tech test, they put out this Google document, and it's got a lot of information regarding the tech test that I just want to go over. So first of all, when is the tech test? Well, it's between April 30th and May 4th, so it's only 5 days. I believe the previous tech test was only 3 days, so these are some short tests. And then they confirmed it's on PC, PS5, Xbox, all that. So a couple big things here down at the bottom. First of all, we're looking especially closely at changes, tweaks, and additions made over the past 6 months of development. Now, what that's probably referring to is the last tech test that they had that was back in October. All the changes since then, that's what they're looking at. The big thing about that playtest is that it was under NDA. So I actually played in that, but I was under NDA, so I can't speak anything about that. I'm excited to see what the changes were from October to now. Speaking of NDAs, here they say this time around you're free to share or stream gameplay capture and tell the world of your experience in Arc Raiders. In other words, the playtest is not confidential. So big news there, no NDA. And then here on the next couple of slides, they talk about lore. Now, what I understand it basically is that Ark is the threat. They're the AI that you fight in the game. And pretty much they forced civilization underground. Now, you play as someone called a raider. Your job is to go back above ground and scavenge for tools and upgrades and all that stuff. Okay, so once we get past the lore, then it goes into the gameplay loop a little bit. biggest thing here, go solo or play in groups of up to 3. I believe I saw someone post on Reddit that they've already confirmed that there is going to be a solo mode in Arc Raiders. So I'm assuming there's going to be 2 playlists. Either you've got solo or squads. So also you can recover materials from caches all over the map, hunt Arc, which again is the AI on the map, and try to make it out through an extraction point before another raider comes for your loot. Talks about your loadout, consists of guns, gadgets, armor, ammunition, and melee. I thought this was pretty neat. You can actually deploy with a free loadout. The gear in this loadout will be inferior, but it's a good option when you don't want to risk your best stuff on the field. And then here they confirm that there's a safe pocket in the game. Now, basically what that is if you die and there's loot inside of that safe pocket, you won't lose it. You will actually retain that loot. Okay, moving on here, they talk about the AI or the Arc. Some Arcs are small and unassuming, roaming robots and feisty ticks, while others are multi-legged behemoths that tower over the earth. Each Arc has its own strengths, weaknesses, and attack styles, and requires different strategy to defeat. And then those of you that actually get into the test, this is good to keep in mind. Arc can be armored or unarmored. Keep in mind that armored Arc can only be taken down with heavy ammunition. And then we've got some POIs on this slide. You've got Dam Battlegrounds, Buried City, and Asera Spaceport. Now, I'm not going to get into all the information associated with all those. You can pause it if you want to. But, you know, when I first read this, I thought, oh, these are 3 different maps. But no, pretty positive that those are 3 different POIs. And then you've got your typical vendors in an extraction shooter. They're going to give you your quests, your weapons, your gadgetry, that sort of stuff. So then here we talk about progression, which is pretty much the point of extraction shooters. So it says here, building and upgrading crafting stations let you build more advanced gear and equipment, like advanced weapon mods or unique gadgets. You can expand your workshop to hold more crafting stations. So here's the exciting part for me. A raider is more than just their gear. You can also invest experience into a skill tree with 3 distinct specializations: conditioning, survival, and mobility. Allocate points between branches in skill tree at your discretion to create your unique build. I feel like that's something a lot of people don't know about Arc Raiders, is that there's going to be a skill tree associated with your character. I really like this direction because it kind of lets you pick and choose how you want to play the game. And then here's a pretty exciting feature in the game through battle passes. Now, hang on, hear me out. Traders have a decent supply, but the most unique goods can be purchased in the seedy underbelly of Speranza, the black markets. Access to these markets come through battle passes. Battle passes can be purchased for raider tokens that you get by playing the game and leveling up. Once you've acquired a battle pass, you can buy items inside of it with cred that you get from completing daily challenges. These are specific missions and tasks that reset every 24 hours. In Tech Test 2, there are 3 battle passes to choose from: the Shuttered Storefront, the Back Alley Market, and the Secluded Courtyard. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know exactly how this is going to work, but it sounds like you'll have access to 3 battle passes through in-game currency that you'll get by just playing the game. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, to close out the video, I want to go through these quick hitters that they put at the end of the slideshow. So first of all, Tech Test 2, playtest participants need to be at least 16 years of age. So sorry if you're 15 and under. The Rust Belt is lethal and you can't stay on the surface for too long. A single round is up to 30 minutes in length. As the round progresses, some of the extraction points will shut down, limiting your options to get back underground. There are world activities scattered around each map with extra rewards if you complete them. That sounds awesome. I love that. If you played the Arc Raiders Tech Test in October 2024 or the closed alpha in June of 2023, you have automatic access to Tech Test 2 on Steam. So a lot of people may skip over that in my video, but hey, if you've played Arc Raiders at any point, you're going to have access, automatic access to this Tech Test. All right, moving on. You can play solo or with friends in groups of 2 or 3. You can queue up for matchmaking if you don't have a group. Now, this next one is huge. I know everybody that's been following Marathon is like, dude, what a huge miss by Bungie. The game has both squad and proximity chat. Like, that's such a huge win for Embark right out of the gate. I don't know, man. With extraction shooters, I just feel like proximity chat is an absolute staple. of that genre, I don't know why you wouldn't put it in the game. Okay, and here's another big one. You will be able to invite 2 friends to explore the Rust Belt with you after completing 4 rounds. So let's say you get in, but none of your friends get in. After you play 4 rounds, you'll be able to share those 2 invites, and your friends will be able to play with you. And then finally, security measures are implemented, including anti-cheat. You love to see it. And before I close out the video, just one quick little thing. You know, I mentioned Marathon earlier. I feel like both of these games can coexist. You know, these two will be so different. They'll play so different. If I had to compare it to 2 other games, it's almost like comparing Warzone and Fortnite to each other. Those 2 games just, they model themselves so differently, and I feel like it's the same way with both these games. You know, the art direction is very different between the 2. I think Marathon is going to play a lot faster than what Arc Raiders is going to play. You've also got first person versus third person. I mean, it's okay to be excited about both of those games. They can both exist in the extraction shooter space, and you can be excited about both, which I am. That's going to be it for me. Make sure you tune in to my channel. I will be streaming Arc Raiders. Day 1, I played in the last tech test, so I'm automatically going to get into this one. So make sure you check out my channel, and hey, if you like today's video, make sure to like and subscribe. Other than that, I will see you on the next one.